What's up, guys? Mage is here, back with another video for you. Today we're going to look at a potential ZG farm. ZG was one of the most popular boosts to sell before Burning Crusade came out, but now you don't really ever see anyone selling it. And I wanted to find out why, and I wanted to see if we could still make it profitable. So I ended up doing some testing with some random people, and now I just kind of want to share my results and let you know if it's worth it to do this farm still. And I also wanted to say thank you guys all so much for all the positive feedback. I never expected my last video to really be so popular. I made it last week and I only had 200 subs at the time. And I mentioned I wanted to get to 1,000 before the end of the year, and now it's only been 5 days and I'm already about to hit the goal. So I'm going to go ahead and revise my goal. And I want to be at 2,000 subs by the end of the year. So if you want to see more guides like this one, like my last one, please subscribe. Really helps me out. And once again, thank you all so much for the support. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the guide. So if you guys are familiar at all with the ZG boost, then this pull is going to be pretty standard. And if you already know how to do the tigers and the crocs and the Jin'Do Mobs, then you can just skip to the results section of the video and hear my conclusion about the gold. But if you're new to the pull or you need a refresher, then stick around and I'm going to do my best to explain it. So what you're seeing now is I just zoned in. I'm just running straight through the instance. If you do have a boosty with you, you're going to need to go to the left and pull the two mobs next to the hut, and then pull them away so the boosty can go to the waterfall spot. But in this run, it's just me solo, and I'm level 70, so I don't aggro anything near me, so I can just run directly to where the pull starts. This is going to be your starting spot for the pull. If you look to the left, you'll always see a berserker as long as you came in to the instance fresh and ran right to this spot. And you do have to wait a little bit for the berserker to pass. When you have all these mobs chasing you, you don't want them to social aggro, so it's best to just let him pass. Once he's out of the way, just mount up and run down to the first crocs on the left. Once you got him pulled, you're going to run over to the second pack and do the same thing. And now you're going to run up the ramp, go left, and hug the wall and run towards the tigers. Once you get around the corner, I like to just target all the tigers with an ice lance. I used to run up and aggro them, but now that we're level 70, it's a little bit harder. So I don't want to miss any. I just grab them with ice lance and I run over to this ledge and I slow fall off. Once you hit the water, just blink across and run up here to this little ridge and jump off. Once you get close enough, you can counterspell this croc on the left, and then you can blink away from him to the right. In this next pack here, you want to wait until they're all close enough and then drop a Nova. After that, you just run along this wall here towards the tree. Once you get over here to this tree, you're going to get right up against the trunk and you're going to blink. You'll actually go through it. And once you do, you're going to run up to the right. And there will be a croc pack down here on your left. You can ice lance it at max range and continue to run right up to this little ledge. You're going to fall, jump once, and then jump twice and blink across the river. Then you can Nova this pack and sit and wait for the other packs to catch up. Once they get to the little bamboo, that's when I start running up the ramp. You gotta be careful when you run up the ramp because sometimes there can be a berserker here. If there is, just slow fall off early into the water to your right and directly back towards the tree you blinked through. But if there isn't one, you can come up here and kite these mobs along. I like to come over here and check and see if the berserker's in the way. If he isn't, I was gonna go in here and try and pull all the extra mobs, but he was right there, so I ended up turning around. Most of the times you just want to come directly over here and just slow fall off towards the bridge. You're just going to blink towards the tree and get up in this corner between the root and the trunk, and you can actually jump up and over it. And you're going to run over here to the other side towards the other croc packs. So when I got to this point, I knew that they were a little bit too far behind, so I kind of sat here and waited. Most of the time, you don't need to do this. You're just going to want to come over here and blink across the river, and then target this croc on the right, get max range, and pull him with an Ice Lance. So first I'm going to show you what happens when there is no Axethrower pack on the bridge. This is the best case scenario and it makes it the easiest. This won't happen every time, but this is what it looks like to get one of those runs. You simply run across the bridge, and you can blink across even, and you go behind the hut on the left, and you slow fall off towards the middle of the two croc packs down in the river. When you get down here, just Ice Lance the pack on the right, and blink through to the pack on the left, and Nova them. And then this is where I swap to my Mage armor, and I just hop around the corner here, and you run towards the bridge. So this is what it looks like when you do have an Axethrower pack coming at you on the bridge. Most important thing is to not panic. It's not a big deal, you can get out of it. You're just going to slow fall off the bridge. And I blink towards this pack, and I like to Nova this pack. So I'll get them all gathered together in Nova. One of them does resist, but no big deal. Just make sure you have shields, because you might be getting hit a little bit here. And once you have blink, you're going to pull this pack and blink across. And then you're going to try and kite these up to the top, back by the wall. And once you get over back by the wall, you're going to come back the same way you just came. The trick is to try and get them to go more towards the right so that you have space to go around them so they don't kill you in one hit. I like to just slow fall off so I don't take any unnecessary damage. And then you're going to come back this way and just kind of stall for time for your blink and go back across. And now it's just like we never even had an Axethrower. You just run right towards the bridge and we'll start the kill phase. The kill phase is the exact same as it always has been. You just position yourself here on the bridge, start to blizzard. And once they're all slowed and they get a little bit closer, you jump onto the rope to the left and just juggle them back and forth. It's pretty simple, really. I like to just angle my camera kind of at this 45-degree angle because I'm a female undead and it makes it a little bit easier. Using water elemental here is really beneficial because you can get them all rooted and drop some flame strikes. Really helps speed up the kill. Obviously, if you have Blade of Eternal Darkness, it's ridiculously overpowered, but it's definitely not required. Just make sure when you summon your water elemental that you put it on stay. Otherwise, when you go up on the rope, it's going to try and follow you. But you just pretty much kite them back and forth here, juggling them along and try to get them down as fast as possible. You can weave in flame strikes, weave in water elemental, icy veins, trinkets, anything to get them down. So that was the first pull. You're going to want to loot and skin these before you do the second pull so that way they don't despawn, because the skinning is going to be a pretty large percentage of your income. So just get all that skinned up real nice, and we'll go ahead and start on the second pull. Now we're off to do the second pull, which is just all the mobs in the Jin'Do room. The reason we have to do that pull is because not only does it increase our gold per hour just with raw gold and items, But also, the experience gained for just pulling the Crocs and Tigers isn't enough to sell a boost anymore. Nowadays, if you try and do that, it's going to be around 12 to 15,000 experience, and nobody's going to pay you for that. So you kind of have to supplement the pull with these additional mobs, which is fine because they're not really hard, and it offers you a chance to get more items and more gold anyways. So first things first, you just have to wait for the Berserker to go to the left, and once he does, you can now enter this pit here and start pulling all the mobs with Ice Lance one by one. From here on out, it's super easy, guys. Just slow fall off this ledge, back towards the bridge, and we're gonna go back over the tree and kind of kite them around a little bit and try and group them up. And then we'll just go back onto the bridge and enter the same kill phase as last time and get them all down. The only thing left to do now is to go over the results and see if this was all worth it. Alright guys, it's time to look at the facts. We're going to go over some numbers and see if this boost is even worth running anymore. So on average, the run takes about 17 minutes, but we're going to add an extra minute for resets and buffs. Let's say you sold the run for 15 gold, because it's a little bit worse than Stratholme, and Stratholme usually sells for about 20 gold. If you had 2 boosties, you'd be making 30 gold per run. In raw gold, typically I looted around 10 gold, 3 silver. I also skinned 60 rugged leather and 9 thick leather. I looted 31 rune cloth, and I received 5 green items on average per run, which I vendored for around 20 gold. In total, I received about 90 gold in 18 minutes. So I'm basically going to equate this to around 270 gold per hour total. As far as experience goes, I tested this with a level 53 boostie named Swavey on Whitemane. Shout out to you, thanks for helping me test this out. The boostie's getting around 23,000 to 26,000 experience per run, or 72,000 experience an hour. Really not too great when compared to Stratholme, when you can do it in 12 minutes. And you can do many more runs in 1 hour, and you can level up a lot quicker. So I guess the final question is selling ZG viable anymore? My answer is yes. Simply, there's a lot of times during the day when I don't see any strat boosts, and you can probably get away with selling this for 15 gold or even 20 gold per run to people who just want to be boosted and don't really care about the efficiency. Your gold per hour, of course, is going to rise based on RNG. You can get some pretty valuable BOEs from ZG, and with over 100 mobs, you have a pretty decent chance of getting one. I'd say if you know the pulls already and are looking for a farm, then just give it a shot. If you don't know the pulls, well, it probably isn't worth learning them. Thank you all for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.